Gyspy Moth, the killer, the murderer, the invasive. Welcome to your Channel 6 News, live with your host, Isaiah Schick. Special guest, Jim.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Isaiah Schick, and alongside of me, I have Professor Lim Jim. Lim Jim is an expert at the Gyspy Moth, the Lamantria Gyspar. As most of us know, the Gyspy Moth is a really invasive species in the area of Minnesota. And luckily for us, we have an expert to tell us everything about this. So, Professor Lim Jim, how did these come here? Where did they come from?
Well, they came from France originally, and a man named E.L. Trouvelot brought them to the U.S. in 1869, and now they began to spread to the most eastern parts of Minnesota.
I heard you have some leaked footage of E.L. Trouvelot's expedition to Minnesota.
Yes, indeed.
So, let's go take a look.
Finally made it to America. Bonjour, America. Here are some of my candidates.
He has quite the accent, doesn't he?
Yes, sir.
Well, to get on to our program, most people know that the Gyspy Moth is invasive still, as I said earlier, but they don't know much about the Gyspy Moth. So, Professor knows a lot about the mating cycle and the life cycle of the Gyspy Moth. So, Professor, what's the life cycle?
Well, the life cycle first starts out at 4 stages of development, right? So you get the egg, then you get the larva, then you get the pupa, and then finally the adult. 4 stages. And
What about some mating stuff?
well, some mating stuff. Well, that's an interesting topic. Well, after the females and the males mate, then they die. They die after their eggs are laid. Female Gyspy moths release chemicals called pheromones, which attract males and helps the reproduction cycle.
That's pretty interesting. I bet some people didn't know about that. Well, our next question comes from a viewer, and she wants to know how the Gyspy moth interacts with its environment, like if it's herbivore, carnivore, omnivore.
Well, the Gyspy moth is an herbivore, so therefore it eats the leaves off of shrubs or trees. And the Gyspy moth also can become a pest because if you have crops in your field, then tend to eat at the crops. That's not good.
So, I see that you brought us some footage of the Gyspy moth in its natural habitat.
Oh yes, indeed.
Let's go take a look. Well, there, Professor, they've act pretty wild in the wild, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Well, on to our next question here. A viewer asks us, what type of special adaptations do these gypsy moths have?
Well, Shakespeare, caterpillars can irritate the skin when handled, and they are able to spin silk thread, so that gets them from place to place, like tree to tree. And they also, when they lay egg deposits that are low to the ground, will be slightly insulated, so the lethal temperatures can survive up to negative 23 degrees Celsius.
That's pretty cold there. And I see that you touched a gypsy moth caterpillar before, and let's see what happened.
Ow, it burns.
I see that's really not a laughing matter when you're being done with those. I can tell that really hurt your hand.
Yes, indeed. I had to go to the hospital actually after this experience.
Really?
Really?
Well, our next viewer asks us two pretty important questions here. What are the impacts of the gypsy moth, and how can we stop them?
Okay. Well, impacts. Well, we are gypsy moths basically live within trees, so they live by trees, and they basically kill the tree.
How?
It kills the trees because basically the gypsy moth is a parasite, killing the host. Basically, not exactly killing the host, but the host will die on later because it won't have much left to give.
So, Mr. Lim Jim, how can we stop these?
We can stop them. We are stopping them by flying huge planes and with pesticide and dropping them over forests. And also another way is mating disruption and the nucleopolyhedrosis virus and putting out pesticide. The species is also being controlled by the white-footed mouse. It's known predator.
Let's go and take a look of when Professor Lim Jim took out the pesticide. Well, that was pretty cool what you did there, because it was starting to get rid of the caterpillars pretty instantly.
Mm-hmm. And I haven't mentioned it, but its well-known predator, as we all know, is a white-footed mouse, which also makes a pretty big impact.
Well, this last question comes from me personally to all the viewers out there. How can we help control the gypsy moth?
Well, stop bringing firewood to a campsite, for number one, and also if you go on, say you go on a hike, well, always check your dog, check your boots, check your shirt, check your clothing, check about anything, and also if you identify the gypsy moth, please contact the local DNR and hopefully they'll find a solution to the problem. Thank you.
Well, now that we've learned a lot about the gypsy moth, there's one last thing to do. It's to help contribute to get rid of the gypsy moth and take it off from our invasive species list. Thank you, and good night, America. drop a pesticide.
Daisy, go. Go.
Alright. Good.
Basically, pesticides and fly use.
Oh, crap. Oh, that's really good. Bad.
We start over on this part.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll be able to chop it up?
Oh, yeah, I will.
There's a lot of parts to chop.
He's like lost it.
It's. See, let's go take a look. Let's start over. Come on, kid. Start over. Let's go take a look.
Come on, now you're just ruining it now. It's just like we had it, and then Daisy interrupted,
Yeah.
and then I screwed this up, and then we laughed. Ah, ah.
Here we go.
No.
Okay. Let's get.
I can't even do this anymore.
Yes, you can. We're not done.
Bite your tongue as hard as you can. I suck at this now.
What do you do?
I'm just like a. I just need a second. Calm down. There's gonna be some major cutting. Alright, let's go. 5, 4. Let's go take a look of when Dr. and Professor Lim Jim took out the caterpillars with the pesticide. I had it too.
My bad. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Go.
Let's go take a look of when Professor Lim Jim took out the pesticide. a lot. I'm telling you that right now. Right now. I'm so fine, JD.
If you want me to restore, you gotta be quick.
Wait. You remember what you're supposed to do? Do you remember what you were supposed to do? No, do you remember what you were supposed to do? Yeah. What? Remember it's supposed to irritate your skin? Remember it's supposed to irritate your skin? Right. Would you pick me up when I'm crawling?
Dang it, it's so hard.